Hey everyone, welcome to Relatively Refined. My name is Paula. Today I'm going to bring you with me to an awesome library book sale. I have a haul to share with you of some thrifted and new items. And then finally, we'll finish everything up by baking some fresh, homemade sourdough bread. All right, let's get started. I am headed out right now. I am going to go to a library book sale that is sponsored each year by the Friends of the Charleston Public Library. So they have a lot of used books. It's being held in the Omar Shrine Auditorium in Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. And the school nurse at my school told me about it. So we're going to head down there and I'm just going to look around and see what I can find. All right, I will see you at the book sale. Well, here is the first look at the sale. It's a huge auditorium, and they do have the books organized by categories, which makes it a lot easier to find what you're looking for. I am, of course, going to look for some cozy mysteries, and I'm also going to take a look at some of the classic and vintage books. They did have a large number of those with some beautiful bindings. They had a lot of these Harvard classics. And if I hadn't been with my son, who was being very impatient, I probably would have stopped and looked at those and possibly purchased some. He was getting a little impatient, so I really honed in on the books that I wanted to get for my summer reading. And when I get back to the car, I will share my haul with you. All right, I am home from the book sale and I'm just going to pop inside. Actually, I might end up doing a car haul. And I did get a few books. They had a lot of books. They had hardback, they had paperback, they had some uh, more collector type books, every genre you could think of. And it was very well organized. It was not really crowded because I went on the first day kind of in the afternoon. It is going to be held tomorrow on Saturday. When I'm filming this is Friday, so they are going to have the book sale tomorrow, and I think probably tomorrow will be a much more crowded day. There you can see my son in the background. He's mowing the lawn. We're home, parked outside the house. All right, let me go ahead and give you a quick little car haul of the books that I got. All right, so I got this book, Murder in the Afternoon, a Kate Shackleton mystery. It looks really good. I got An Act of Foul Play, a Lady Hardcastle mystery by T.E. Kinsley. Jane Austen and the Unpleasantness at Scargrave Manor, being the first Jane Austen mystery by Stephanie Barron. That one looks really fun. The Mystery of the Lost Cezanne by M.L. Longworth. And then finally, Murder at the Manor by Catherine Coles. So I am planning to read these over the summer, and I will update you when I'm into them and let you know how they are. And here is a haul of a few things that I have purchased lately, both thrifted and new. I have several things that I want to share with you. I have kind of a mini haul here, and it's a variety of items, some thrifted, some new, and then a few things that will be in our shop this spring. Let me start by sharing with you some books. Now, you probably will have seen already in this video my book haul from the Charleston Friends of the Library book sale. So I am filming this part of the video before I attend that book sale. So I'm not sure in the scheme of the video whether or not you've already seen my Charleston Public Library book sale book haul or whether that's coming after this. So either way, you'll see that book haul, but I'm not sure where it's going to appear. So let me share with you the new books that I have recently purchased. Now, when I was at Barnes & Noble a few weeks back, and I did a video of that, and I will link that up here, or maybe it's up here. I will link that video. I saw these beautiful penguin bloom copies of classic books, and they were absolutely gorgeous. And so I ordered some of these for myself. So let me show you the three that I ordered. They're really so pretty. The first one was Sense and Sensibility by Jane Austen. And look at this beautiful book. This cover is gorgeous. It's got these end pages in here that are so pretty. And then the back has a quote on it. It says, "To wish was to hope, and to hope was to expect." And it's just an absolutely beautiful edition of Sense and Sensibility. Also by Jane Austen, I purchased Emma, and these are for my summer reading this summer. This is also the Penguin Bloom version. How gorgeous is this book? Again, you have this beautiful pink cover that says Emma, and then the back has a quote on it. And the quote says, "It is such a happiness when good people get together." Really beautiful. And then finally, the third Jane Austen book that I purchased in the Penguin Bloom edition was Pride and Prejudice. And again, just so lovely with these flowers. And the cover art is by is by the Rifle Paper Company. I forget who their main artist is, but if you Google Rifle Paper Company, and I'll actually leave a link for it down below, they have some absolutely gorgeous things. And again, the back of this book has a quote: "You must allow me to tell you how ardently I admire and love you." So I got those three Jane Austen books in the Penguin Bloom editions, and I think they will just look so beautiful styled up on a bookshelf because they're just stunning, the artwork on them. So let me put those down. And then in that same video, about my tea and book pairings, someone recommended that I read the Miss Read series. So I did purchase a Miss Read book. This is Thrush Green, and it's the first novel in the beloved Thrush Green series. Absolutely beautiful. On the cover, so cute, and it just looks so cozy. Now, it's not a mystery, but it's just a cozy read. It's Miss Read's charming chronicles of small town life have achieved an almost legendary popularity worldwide. And I'm so looking forward to reading this. I'm very excited. And I'm sure if I like it, I'll be purchasing some more of that series because I love a cozy mystery and just a cozy read in general. And then two mystery books that I purchased were from the British Library Crime Classic series. One is called Serpents in Eden, and this is a series of short stories that take place in the countryside. There's a quote on the back that says, "The lowest and vilest alleys in London do not present a more dreadful record of sin than does the smiling and beautiful countryside. Think of the deeds of hellish cruelty, the hidden wickedness which may go on year in, year out in such places, and none the wiser." So it's called Serpents in Eden. And I'm very excited. I've started reading this and it's really fun. It's, like I said, it's a series of short stories. So I'm very excited about that. And then the next one is called Murder at the Manor. It's part of the Country House Mysteries, and it is edited by Martin Edwards. And again, it's a series of short stories that take place in English country homes. So I'm super excited about both of those books. And then the last book that I want to share with you, let me adjust this a little bit because the sun is coming in and I don't know how the lighting is, but the last book that I purchased, and this is a used book, is The Wind in the Willows, which is a classic book, but this particular edition is illustrated by Tasha Tudor, whom I absolutely love. So you can see the illustrations are just darling. And as I said, this is a used copy because I don't think this particular version is in print anymore, but so, so cute. And there again in the back end pages and the cover, and in the back you can see squirrel and possum. It's really, really cute. So I'm very excited to have this and add this to my book collection. And The Wind in the Willows is just such a fun read. I mean, it is really a cozy read, even though it's not a mystery. It's just a wonderful book to read as an adult or a child. So I'm excited to have that. All right, now let me share with you some thrifted finds. And there are just a few things that I have collected. I haven't been thrifting a whole lot lately because I've been super busy at school with the end of the year festivities and testing and all that goes along with that. And then the kids have been home from college and getting the house ready and being outside and doing yard work. So I've been busy doing other things, but I did stop at the thrift store recently and I did find this beautiful Pyrex covered casserole dish in, I think it's called the Crazy Daisy pattern. This is a pattern I collect. I love it. The Corel partner to this might be called Crazy Daisy. I'm not sure, but it's white and green and it has these really cute little flowers. This is in perfect condition. It has the lid. You can see the inside is immaculate and the bottom is also immaculate. And I think I paid $3.99 for this, which I thought was a great deal. So I'm happy to have that. I do love the small size of it. So when the kids are not home from college, it's just enough for 2 or 3 of us here at the house. I also found for 59 cents each a stack of 4 of these beautiful little green kind of chinoiserie inspired plates. They have a little medallion in the center. And I think these make really sweet risers. You can put a candle on them. You can use them as a spoon rest. You can put your tea bag on it. There are a myriad of uses for little plates like this. And these were so beautiful. And I thought so springy and perfect for spring and summer that for 59 cents each, I could not pass those up. So those came home with me. And then I found this a while ago, and I don't think I've actually shared it in a video. It's really super heavy. It is this beautiful marble cheese board, and it's Arthur Court, and you can see it has these really pretty swans up there, and it's, as I said, it's incredibly heavy, but it's beautiful for a small charcuterie board, a cheese board at the holidays. This was, believe it or not, $1.99. I could not, when I saw that and I saw that it was Arthur Court and that white marble, I could not snatch that up fast enough. I thought that was so pretty. Also, the other day when I was at the thrift store, I got, these are practical items, honestly. I got these Pyrex measuring cups. Whenever I see these in good shape at a great price, I pick them up because they're so handy. And as I said, we have 4 kids that will have homes of their own sometime. And there is nothing handier than having some of these around the house. I use them for everything. So this is a nice big size. And then this is a 1 cup measure. And they're in perfect condition. I mean, the measurements are still very easy to read. Sometimes they've been worn off by, being put in a dishwasher or just use, I guess. But these are in perfect shape. So they were 59 cents each. So I did grab those. And then for $1 a piece, 99 cents a piece, I think, I found these vintage, 4 of them. I'll hold one up first, but I got 4. They are vintage Italian coffee cups. They're so cool. They have a super modern look to them, even though they're vintage. They have this metal handle. It's almost like a little cradle that the glass fits into. I do think the glass comes out, although I'm not going to attempt to take it out right now. But I do believe it comes out of the little metal cradle. You can see it's sort of split right there. I think it comes out for cleaning. But I just thought these were the coolest thing. I do not need another mug. So these will be going into our online shop, and I will put a link for that shop in the description box, and I will put the address of our website where you can find the shop just right along the bottom of the screen here. But as I said, there are 4 of them, and I thought they just had such a cool modern look to them that I couldn't leave them behind. They're just so unique. I had not seen anything quite like them. So as I said, look for those to be in the shop and listed soon. Also in the shop, I wanted to share a few things that will be listed or should be listed by the time you see this video. Now we carry these beautiful trinket dishes. They're made from oyster shells. They're so cute. And every time we get these double Bs in, they sell out immediately. So we have restocked those. And we have also added a couple of other designs to the shop. This one I absolutely love. It's this beautiful pansy. So cute. Absolutely love it. And then this one is so precious. It's littler than the other ones. It's very sweet. It's this gorgeous pink and blue one. How adorable would that be sitting on your counter or your bedside table for your rings or your earrings at night? I think it's just so precious. So there's that one. And then we also got in these really adorable robin um, ones that are actually ornaments. Like they could be like a Christmas tree ornament or just hanging anywhere off a peg rail, off a chandelier at the holidays. But they're so pretty. They have kind of a red berry and a white flower and then a robin redbreast. And they hang as Christmas ornaments or any kind of ornaments really. And then, speaking of Christmas ornaments, even though I know it's May when you're seeing this, we did get in a set of these beautiful Christmas ornaments that are also different varieties of birds, and they're so cute. There is the little another robin redbreast. Isn't he cute? There's that one. This one looks, now I don't know my birds, all of my birds, but this one looks like this. Super cute. I think there are 6 different designs. Let me pull them out for you. And I think we're going to maybe sell them in sets of 3. Really cute. And they come in these adorable little gold gauze bags. Very, very cute. This one looks like a finch, maybe a goldfinch. If I'm if I'm not right, let me know in the comments, because I know we probably have some people who are great birders that watch our channel. This looks like a bluebird to me. And then, oh, this one is super cute. This is a finch or maybe a chickadee. Actually, I think this is a chickadee. So cute. So we're very excited about those. And I just think these would look adorable on a Christmas tree. And I just think they're so precious. They have the little gold rim and then the decoupaged bird on there. And then they have the satin ribbon to hang from. Really, really sweet. So that's it for the shop updates. And then I want to share one last thing with you. And what I'm going to share with you is my Mother's Day gift from my kids. And I am a big fan of Emma Bridgewater pottery. It's made in the UK. It's really, really adorable. And they know that. And so they got me some Emma Bridgewater mugs that I have been wanting for so long. They're super, super cute. So let me just show you how adorable these are. The first one they got is of course, the Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. How sweet is that? And then on the inside, it says, I don't know if you can see that, it says Cavalier King Charles Spaniel. Is this not adorable? I mean, and it's the perfect size mug. So there's the Cavalier mug. Then they got me one that is tulips. And again, it says tulips on the inside. And the iris. These are all flowers that I adore. I love tulips. I love irises. and then sweet pea. I'm sorry if I just kicked that camera and jiggled you. I apologize. And then this is the sweet pea, and look on the inside how precious that is. And again, I don't know if I can show you on the bottom. It's the Emma Bridgewater Flowers series. Really adorable. And then the last one is this really sweet robin mug. I'm so excited about these mugs. I love them. I'm going to insert some footage of how I have them in my kitchen. I had to, of course, display them because they're so beautiful. So I ordered a new mug rack and I have them hanging on that mug rack. So I will insert a clip here of what that looks like. All right. So that is my little haul that I have for you now. So there is another haul in here, I think probably from the book sale, unless I don't get anything there. I don't know. I can't see into the future, but I suspect that I'll probably find a few books that need to come home with me. But that is what I have to share with you for a mini haul. Here is my sourdough starter. It lives in the refrigerator for most of the week. And then when I want to make bread, I take it out that morning and feed it. I fed it this morning and you can see it's looking good and active. And then I just let it sit out until it has really almost tripled in size, expanded to fill almost this whole jar. And then when it's gotten to that point, I will use that starter to make the rustic sourdough bread. To feed my sourdough, what I do is I measure out 113 grams of the starter, and then I add 113 grams of flour to that and 113 grams of distilled water. I don't use tap water because ours, I believe, contains chlorine, and that will kill off the yeast particles in the starter. So I use distilled water when I'm feeding my sourdough starter. I can use regular tap water when I make the bread, but to feed the starter, I like to use distilled water. The first step is to weigh out my sourdough starter. When making sourdough bread, it really is best if you can use a kitchen scale and weigh out your ingredients rather than measure them, because depending on how tightly you pack your flour and so forth into your measuring cup, it can vary dramatically in terms of the amount of flour and water and starter that you're using. So to be more accurate, I like to use a food scale and then weigh my starter out. This starter I purchased from the King Arthur Flour Company, which is based out of Norwich, Vermont. It is several decades old and it is very, very robust. And it comes with this little recipe book that I'm showing you there. And the recipe that I'm going to make is the rustic sourdough bread. What makes this recipe different is that you do indeed use your sourdough starter, but you also use a teaspoon of regular active dry yeast. And that just shortens the amount of time that it has to rise, and it eliminates a few steps. Now, my sister Patty makes sourdough the traditional way with all of the stretch and folds and so forth, and that can honestly be like a 2-day process. So if I don't have the time, or if I don't remember to take my starter out in enough time to feed it and get it to kind of blossom and bloom in enough time to make the sourdough bread the traditional way, it's much easier to do this rustic recipe, and it goes a lot faster. You can make this in 1 day. So you start by weighing out your starter, and then I'm going to add some water. And then here you see me opening up a packet of just regular dry yeast that you would get at your grocery store. And that little teaspoon that you add really does boost the leavening power. You still get that really wonderful sour taste from the starter, but it just reduces the amount of time that it takes to produce the loaves of bread. So I've had good luck with the recipe that I'm using today. I will link it in the description box of this video. It's a King Arthur recipe. As I said, it came in that recipe book. and the kids really, really like it as well. So after I add my starter and water and then a teaspoon of the yeast, I'm going to add 2.5 teaspoons of salt, just regular table salt, and then I will add the flour. And again, it's important to weigh out your flour. So I just tear the scale to zero it out between each step and just sprinkle the flour in until I get, I think it's 602 grams of flour that you need for this particular recipe. So once I get the flour weighed out to the right amount, then I'm just going to stir together all of these ingredients. And you just want to mix it together until you get kind of a shaggy dough. The dough will be a little bit sticky, but when you do knead it and form it into the dough ball, you can add some flour so that it becomes less sticky. But it does not require a tremendous amount of kneading either, like just traditional yeast bread. I can remember my mom and my grandma making yeast bread, and there's a lot of kneading that goes into that, I think, to develop the gluten and so forth in the bread. Now, I do knead this just a little bit to make it not sticky and kind of give it that smooth dough feeling versus the shaggy dough that you see here in this bowl. But it does not take a tremendous amount of kneading. So that's another plus. This bread is pretty quick to make, and as I said, my kids devour it. This particular recipe actually makes 2 loaves, and I can tell you that they don't last 2 days when everybody is home from college. They love to toast it. It's delicious toasted with a little bit of butter and some honey on it. So here you can see that I'm going to just put a little bit of flour on my very clean countertop, and then I'm going to take that dough and I am going to knead it just a little bit so that it gets less sticky and has a smoother texture. And there's no right or wrong way to knead the bread. Just kind of push it away from you, fold it over, and then push down on it again. It's a good little workout, and you can take some of your frustrations out if you need to, but I find that kneading bread dough is actually very therapeutic. So I'm just going to finish kneading this up, get it into a nice smooth ball, and then I will put it back in the bowl with a damp cloth over it to rise. And I think I let it rise for about 90 minutes. Before I put it in the bowl to rise, though, I do put a little bit of olive oil in the bowl to prevent the dough from sticking, and that does seem to help. I didn't do it the first time I made it, and the dough was quite sticky and made it harder to get it out of the bowl. So I'm just going to place a damp kitchen towel over it and let that rise for about, as I said, 90 minutes. Now, while that dough is rising, what I need to do is to replenish my starter. So I used a good bit of my sourdough starter to make the bread. So what I'm taking now is the remainder of the starter, and I'm putting it into a clean glass ball jar, and I'm going to weigh out exactly how much starter I have. I try to get around 113 grams, more or less. But I do want to find out exactly how much starter I have, because then I'm going to feed it with a 1:1:1 ratio of starter to flour to water. And what you're doing here is just creating more starter. I think I mentioned this in a video once before, but it's a little bit like that Amish friendship bread that everybody had in the 70s, where you made the starter essentially, and you gave some to your friends and so forth, and then they fed it and made it into bread, and then their leftover starter they could pass on to somebody else. So I used up the starter for my bread, and I had a little bit left, so I'm going to feed that, and then that will bloom, and the yeast in that will kind of expand and bubble and become active, and I can use that then to make bread next week when I'm ready to make it, or the next time I'm ready to make bread. When you first get your starter, you can leave it out on your countertop and you feed it, I think, every 12 hours when you first get it, and kind of reestablish its strength, I guess you would say, and its activity level. Once it's very active and very well established, you can simply feed it, leave it out on your counter, let it probably triple in size, and then put it in your fridge and leave it in the back of your fridge until you're ready to make bread. I try to pull mine out the morning of the day I'm going to make bread, or maybe even the evening before. Feed it, let it sit out on the counter either overnight or for a few hours, and let the yeast and the bacteria in it become very, very active and bubbly so that it becomes the natural leavening power for the bread. So here you can see I've just added the water and the flour to the remaining starter, or whatever starter I didn't have. That's called the discard. So I've added water and flour to my discard starter, and I'm going to let that sit on the countertop until, as I said, it doubles or triples in size, and then I'll stick it in my fridge and it'll be there and ready to go for the next time I want to make bread. In the meantime, it's been about an hour and a half now, and my dough has risen very nicely. So what I'm doing here is I'm just cutting it into 2 pieces with a pair of kitchen shears. And as I said, this recipe makes 2 loaves of bread. So once I've cut it into 2, I'm just going to loosely form the dough into 2 oval shaped loaves. And I do it right on a parchment covered baking sheet. Now, in traditional sourdough bread, you usually or typically would cook it in a cast iron pot in the oven. For this rustic sourdough, you just form the loaves right on a baking sheet. And once I've got those all formed and on my parchment paper, I'm going to once again cover them with the damp kitchen towel and let those sit and rise for about another hour. After about 30 minutes of the rise time, I'll preheat my oven to 425. Now you can see that these have risen beautifully. They've almost doubled in size. So what I'm going to do now is just lightly dust the top of the loaves with some flour, and then I'm going to cut 2 fairly deep, maybe, half-inch deep slashes on each of the loaves, and that just gives it the opportunity to puff up in the oven. And you can use a knife, or you can use a special sourdough tool. I think it's called a lame, and it's really essentially a razor blade. And it's best if you can just make some quick cuts in the top of the bread, and that just gives it an opportunity to expand and puff up in the oven. So here's a close-up look at the dough before it goes into the oven. As I said, the oven has been preheating to 425, so it is a hot oven, and they go in for about 25 to 30 minutes. And here we are about 30 minutes later, and the bread looks beautiful. It's nice and golden brown. You can see that it has puffed up, it has expanded, and those slashes that you made in the bread just allowed it more opportunity to expand. Okay, here's the finished loaf, just cooling. And one of the things you can do to test your loaf to see if it's done is to tap the bottom. And if it sounds hollow like that, then it is most likely done. So I'm just going to let those cool, and then the kids, I'm sure, will be cutting into them very soon. And here is the starter that we fed earlier after I took the starter out to make the bread. So this was the remains, and as you recall, it was just way down here. Then I fed it with the water and flour, and here it is. It's looking pretty good, so I can just loosely put the top on it, and now I will store it in the fridge until the next time I need to make some bread. Let me know in the comments if you make sourdough bread or if you're interested in making it. I was frankly a little intimidated by it for a long time, so I didn't do it. But once I ordered the starter from King Arthur and I found the rustic sourdough recipe with the little bit of yeast that I made today, it was so simple and so delicious that now I don't think twice about it. I just pull that starter out and get those loaves made. And thankfully, as I said, it makes 2 loaves because the kids eat those right down. If you enjoyed today's video, our visit to the library sale, my haul, the bread making, go ahead and give this video a thumbs up. Leave us a comment, share the video with someone who you think might enjoy this content. It really helps out our channel. We appreciate you, and we are so thankful for all the love and support you have shown us. If you're not subscribed, hit that subscribe button and help us reach our goal of 10,000 subscribers. I'm going to leave a couple of videos right up on the screen for you to enjoy between now and our next upload. All right, everybody, take care, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.